Today I am going to take the poem Dover Beach by Matthew Arnold. It is for ICSE students, plus 2 students, from the book ICSE Reverie, a collection of poems. Matthew Arnold lived in the Victorian age. There were 2 other great poets, Alfred Lord Tennyson and Robert Browning. Victorian age means when Queen Victoria ruled UK. Now I'll read something about Matthew Arnold. Matthew Arnold was born in 1822 and died in 1888. He was an English poet and cultural critic. Culture. What is culture? Culture means arts, ideas, thoughts of people, of a nation or group. He is a critic of culture, whose work remains amongst the best known of 19th century English poetry. He wrote on a variety of subjects, but is best known for his poems on nature, modern society, and moral instruction. Moral instruction means instruction to the people on morality. Arnold is sometimes called the third great Victorian poet, along with Alfred Lord Tennyson and Robert Browning. Arnold was keenly aware of his place in poetry. In an 1869 letter to his mother, he wrote, "It might be fairly urged that I have less poetical sentiment than Tennyson." He says that he has less poetical sentiment than Lord Alfred Tennyson. You can fairly judge it. And less intellectual vigor and abundance than Robert Browning. Yet because I have perhaps more of a fusion mixture of the two than either of them, and have more regularly applied that fusion to the main line of modern development, I am likely enough to have my turn as they have had theirs. He means that he will have a place in literature as Robert Browning and Lord Alfred Tennyson had, because he had a fusion of what Lord Alfred Tennyson has and Robert Browning has. Sir Edmund Chambers judged Arnold's poetical vision by its simplicity, lucidity, clearness, and straightforwardness. Its literalness. Literalness means exact meaning of the word. The sparing use of aureate words. Aureate means ornamental words. He used very few ornamental words, or of far-fetched words. Far-fetched words also used less, which are all the more effective when they come. The avoidance of inversions, like instead of saying he had, he, inversions, and the general directness of syntax sentence, which gives full value to the delicacies of a varied rhythm, of a changing rhythm, and makes it of all verse that I know the easiest to read aloud. The poem that we are going to study, Dover Beach, written in 1867, is a dramatic monologue. What's dramatic monologue? Dramatic monologue has few features like the dramatic opening and a speaker's observations and a listener listening. So that is dramatic monologue. Is a dramatic monologue and presents the ephemeral human feeling. Ephemeral human feeling. Ephemeral human feeling means human feeling which lasts for a short time. Ephemeral human feeling of sadness through the image of the sea. The poet expresses his view that the despair, hopelessness, and frustration in the world is due to the decrease of religious faith. The poem is marked by an elegiac tone. Elegiac tone. Elegy means, what is elegy? Elegy is a sad poem about the death of a person. Now let us go to the poem Dover Beach by Matthew Arnold. The poem is basically a lyric. What's a lyric? The words of a poem is lyric. In the beginning, lyric was written to be sung. But then, lyric is a poem in which the poet gives his deepest thoughts and feelings. That is a lyric. So the poem is basically a lyric. However, its tone of melancholy turns it into an elegy, E-L-E-G-Y. Its tone of melancholy, sadness, turns it into an elegy. What's an elegy? Elegy is a sad tone, a sad song. It is written about the death of a person. It's a sort of elegy, a lamentation on the declining faith in religion. It's a sort of elegy. Here also it's an elegy, it's a lamentation, a cry on the declining faith in religion. Some critics treat it as a dramatic monologue as well. I told you what is dramatic monologue. It gives us the speaker's observations and reflections. It has a dramatic opening and the presence of someone is there, or the presence of a person is there. Let me read the poem Dover Beach by Matthew Arnold. The sea is calm tonight, the tide is full, the moon lies fair upon the straits. On the French coast the light gleams and is gone. The cliffs of England stand, glimmering and vast. Out in the tranquil bay, come to the window, sweet is the night air, only from the long line of spray, where the sea meets the moon-blanched land. Listen, you hear the grating row of pebbles which the waves draw back and fling at their return up the ice strand. Begin and cease, and then again begin, with tremulous cadence slow, and bring the eternal note of sadness in. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Ægean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. We find also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. The sea of earth was once, too, at the full, and round earth's shore lay like the folds of a bright girdle furled, but now I only hear its melancholy, long withdrawing roar, retreating to the breath of the night wind, down the vast edges drear and naked shingles of the world. Ah, love, let us be true to one another, for the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, hath really neither joy, no love, no light, no certitude, no peace, no help for pain. And we are here as on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. We are going to the first stanza of the poem. Stanza is the unit of the poem. The sea is calm tonight. The tide is full. The moon lies fair upon the straits. On the French coast the light gleams and is gone. The cliffs of England stand, glimmering and vast. Out in the tranquil bay, come to the window, sweet is the night air. Only from the long line of spray, where the sea meets the moon-blanched land, listen, you hear the grating row of pebbles which the waves draw back and fling at their return up the ice strand. Begin and cease, and then again begin, with tremulous cadence slow, and bring the eternal note of sadness in. Here we find the speaker and his wife standing on the bank of England and looking towards France through the English Channel. So there is an English Channel in between France and England. So they are on the England side looking to the lights in France. And what is there in between? There is the English Channel. So here the speaker is saying, we can say speaker, not the point. Speaker is saying, the sea is calm tonight. The sea is peaceful tonight. The tide is full, the moon lies fair. The tide, the regular rise and fall in the level of the sea, that is tide. The tide is full. The moon lies fair upon the straits, upon the gulf. On the French coast the light gleams and is gone. The French coast, on the French shore, the light gleams, the light shines dimly and is gone. So they standing on the England side could see the light in France shining dimly and disappears. The cliffs of England stand. They are standing by the cliffs of England. You can see on the shore of England, cliffs. The cliffs of England stand, glimmering, shining dimly and vast. Out in the tranquil bay, out in the tranquil means calm, out in the calm bay, you can see what? Out in the calm bay, you can see the cliffs of England shining dimly and uncertainly. Come to the window. The speaker tells his wife, come to the window. Sweet is the night air. From the window, if you look, you can feel the night air is sweet. Only from the long line of spray. Long line of spray means a long line of water that rises up from the sea. Only from the long line of spray where the sea meets the moon-blanched land. Moon-blanched means moon-whitened land. How does the moon whiten the land? The moon's rays fall on the land and we get the white color. Moon-blanched land, moon-whitened land. Listen, you hear the grating row, grating, something grating on something. Row of pebbles. What is pebbles? Very small stones, which the waves draw back and fling. The waves, what do? They go back and fling and throw. At their return, when they come back again, up the strand, up the sandy shore. They begin and cease, stop, and then again they come to the land with tremulous cadence, with trembling magical sound, and bring the eternal note of sadness in. The eternal, the everlasting note of sadness in. Next stanza. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Ægean, and it brought into his mind the turbid ebb and flow of human misery. We find also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant northern sea. Sophocles. Who is Sophocles? A Greek dramatist of the 5th century BC. Sophocles long ago heard it on the Ægean. Ægean means the Ægean Sea. That is the sea between Greece and Asia Minor. And it brought into his mind, brought into Sophocles' mind, the turbid ebb, the muddy or confused ebb and flow, the water flowing out and flowing in, ebb and flow of human misery. Here it stands for the ebb and flow of human wretchedness, misery, wretchedness. We find also, we mean the speaker and his wife, found also in the sound a thought, hearing it by this distant, far away northern sea. Why northern sea? Because England is in the north of the world, northern sea. The sea of faith was once too at the full and round earth's shore, lay like the folds of a bright girdle fold, but now I only hear its melancholy, long withdrawing roar, retreating to the breath of the night wind down the vast edges drear and naked shingles of the world. The sea of faith means the great faith in God and religion, was once too at the full. The sea of faith was also full like the tide. Once upon a time, the sea of faith was full in England, and round earth's shore, like the sea The faith was encircling the whole world. But now in those days lay like the folds of a bright girdle furled. Girdle means an ornament for the waist. Lay like the folds of a bright ornament for the waist. Furled. Furled means opened. But now I only hear it's melancholy. Melancholy means it's sadness. Long, withdrawing, row. Withdrawing means going back. Retreating, going back. To the breath of the night wind, to the night wind which blows down the vast edges drear. Drear means dull or gloomy, and naked shingles of the world. Naked shingles means, the small stones that you find by the seashore. Here what it means is, now the sea is fast retreating, going back, leaving beyond bare and naked shingles in the wind of the night, shingles in the wind of the night which begins to blow. In other words, the religions or the religious faith is declining. The world is devoid of faith now, and what remains is spiritual crisis in the form of doubts, confusions and uncertainties in the world. Now the last stanza, love, let us be true to one another, for the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams, so various, so beautiful, so new, hath really neither joy, no love, no light, no certitude, no peace, no help for pain. And we are here as on a darkling plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle and flight, where ignorant armies clash by night. So the speaker and the wife is there. They are looking through the window on the banks of the sea. Banks of which sea? English Channel. Love, he tells his wife, love, let us be true to one another. Let us be true to one another. Why? For the world which seems to lie before us like a land of dreams, the world which appears to us before us like a land of dreams, so various, so full of variety, so beautiful to us, so new, it looks like so new, has really neither joy. There is no joy, no love, no light, no certainty, no peace. Certitude means certainty, no peace, no help for pain. And we are here, we are like what? As on a dark plain, swept with confused alarms of struggle. Alarms of struggle means sounds of danger and flight. Flight means people running away, where ignorant armies clash by night. Ignorant armies, clash means fight by night. What it means here, in this world, human beings are like soldiers of two rival armies on a battlefield, fighting each other in total darkness. They do not know whether they are killing friends or foes. Thus the poet compares all human strife, struggle and exertion as aimless, confused battle. Without faith, human beings are confused. They have become ungodly, skeptical, without belief, and materialistic, and are thus in endless misery. That's all. Students, you have an assignment. Write an appreciation of the poem. Once again, write an appreciation of the poem. Thank you.